And I guess the biggest name in this class, or one of the biggest names, Keith Frazier, the Dallas Kimball kid. Can you kind of talk about the impact of getting a kid who's ranked 18 in the country by some services and is a local product?
Well, one, for him to, make a commitment to come here is remarkable with the options he had. And when we got the job here, our goal was to hopefully be good enough and relevant that kids would want to stay at home and play here. And for him to be the first, and say he's doing that is huge. I don't take it lightly, but I want kids to want to stay at home and feel like they're going to be coached and get better and play at the highest level. And it means a lot. When we were recruiting Keith, we took the dream team and showed him the dream team, all the guys that stayed at home. There were a lot of pretty special ones that stayed at home. And, I think that hit home with him. And then, his mom was a big part of him coming here. And that was great. His coach and a lot of support people. Now we got to do our job here, and I think with the academic support we have and what this school wants to be about academically, I think it's going to give him a chance to really be successful both in the classroom and on the court.
You spent a lot of time on the road watching his games and seeing him play. What did you see out of him that makes you think he's such a special player?
I mean, I think in order to be involved with a kid like him, you had to be around, because if you weren't, somebody else was going to be there. But he's played on championship teams. He's been well coached. He loves to play. He's got a passion for the sport, and that's. I recognize that watching him play games, and I recognize that in practice. He's been coached. So he's a kid, I think, that if we do our part and he continues to work hard, he has a chance to be pretty special.
Where did the desire to get a local elite player rank on your priority list? Or were you simply looking for best players anywhere?
Oh, I think we owe it to our program to look for the best players wherever they may be. And, it's not just the best players. We want high-character kids that are going to accept coaching and, respect the game and want to make their teammates better. But personally, I want us to be a national school, but I want every kid in the state of Texas to consider us. To have kids from Dallas or the Metroplex or this area part of your program, you're going to instantly have great support. Have his family around, it's going to be tremendous. Have his family and friends be able to see him play without having to get in a plane and fly somewhere else. I think it's a tremendous advantage. And I, since I've been here, I've always respected Texas high school basketball, but since I've been here, I've grown more and more aware of the great coaching and the great talent. And I think I've said this numerous times, you don't even have to get the best ones. You get real good ones from here, you can compete on the highest level. we're going to try to get the best ones. I know with Tubby here, I know with Trent here, and Rick here, Coach Drew. We got to lock this state down. We got to see these kids stay here. There's enough great programs in this state, and I just want to be one of them.
Now that you add Frazier to the guys you signed in the fall, how does this class compare with your expectations or your goal when you and your staff started the process of putting together your first full class?
Well, we had some disappointments. There were some kids that I thought, we were going to get, but this didn't work out. And I realized the choices they made were great. So I don't worry about that. But this far exceeded anything that I could have ever hoped for. But with our 3 transfers and the 4 kids that we were fortunate enough to have signed, this is a pretty special group, and I had no idea this could happen this quickly. But it made me realize that's why we came here. This school has so much potential, so much to offer. Academically, the support we get, all our kids is phenomenal. And you get a degree from SMU, the opportunities are great. And then, every kid comes expecting to be in the NBA. So, hopefully they're going to be coached because we have a great staff. This never would have happened without Uric and Jarence and Tim and, all the people, connected with our program. It never would have happened.
Talking about your staff, with Keith Frazier, there are schools that have been recruiting him since his freshman year, and y'all came in really late in the game. Can you talk about the job that Uric and the rest of the staff did developing that relationship quickly?
Well, I've always been blessed. People that have worked with me have always been pretty special. But I think we have the best staff in America. From maybe not the head coach, but all the other people. With Eric and George and Jarence and Uric and Tim. You got guys that care, guys that work hard, guys that understand the game, that can teach and coach. And I think kids recognize that. The parents that allowed us to have their sons be part of this, I think recognize, just how close our staff is and how much we care about each other. And but I'm sure, Keith recognized that. I'm sure Sterling recognized that. Ben, Yannick. So, and that's a good thing. Now it's on us to see that, they made a good decision, and I'm hopeful we can fulfill our part.
You mentioned the transfers, Marcus Kennedy and Nick Moore and Crandall Head. Can you talk a little bit about just how much they've improved since they got here last year and how far ahead they are?
Well, you'd have to ask them. I just think, I think they're really great kids. They got a huge upside, and the fact that they sat out a year and got to watch us coach and know what we're about is got to make their transition a lot easier. But understand, we got Louisville twice, Connecticut twice, you know, Rutgers twice, Temple twice, Memphis twice, South Florida, Central Florida. We got Texas A&M, we got Virginia. We got a couple other big games that we're really close to finalizing. So we better, you know, show improvement or we'll be exposed pretty quickly.
How big of an impact does signing a guy like Keith Frazier have on other top prospects around the country and in the Dallas area?
Why, you know, the second day he announced it at the McDonald's game, I started getting calls from kids. I'm new here, so I didn't realize, you know, about kids' reputations. But he's really, really highly thought of, so that's got to help a lot. But at the end of the day, if we don't do our part, it won't matter one bit. And Keith knows that. So again, when he said and his mom said he was coming here, I don't think any of us take that lightly. We got a heck of a responsibility to make him fulfill his goals and reach his potential. So, but I'm excited about that. But I told him, I remember when I went to North Carolina, Coach McGuire left, Coach Smith took over, the basketball scandal happened to happen. Coach inherited we lost some players, the schedule was cut to 16 games. He was limited in where he could recruit for a number of years. And all of a sudden, one day, Larry Miller decided to go to North Carolina. And everything changed. And the freshman team that I was a part of went to 3 straight Final Fours. Just so happened Lou Alcindor was playing at the time. But Larry Miller, made a commitment to go to North Carolina and showed his trust in Coach Smith, and everything changed. They talk about a lot of guys being significant, and there've been a lot of great players before him, but after what happened, Larry Miller, by going to North Carolina, just changed everything. Well, I look at Keith. I think the fact that this kid could have gone so many places, and him having the confidence in us and his mom having the confidence in us, I just look back and it parallels a lot in my mind. They had Coach Smith. Now that's a little different, but we're pretty fortunate.
Do you think y'all are done for the recruiting cycle now for this year, or do you expect to get another transfer, or still looking at things?
I don't know. Over 450 kids transferred last year, and I heard there's going to be a lot more. I don't know, but we're pretty happy with what we have. We're always trying to get better, but I don't want to recruit kids to sit on the bench. You want to recruit kids that have an opportunity to get better and an opportunity to play. The neat thing is we're going to have competition for every position. Nobody's going to have anything given to them. But now, when I was on the road and I saw Cal and Bill Self and Tom Crane and Jay Wright and all those guys, they're recruiting freshmen, sophomores. We didn't have that luxury. Well, now things are starting to change. We're trying to get involved with a lot of young kids, and I think we've done a pretty good job in that regard. So when I went to a game, AAU games last year, I was looking at 300 kids. Those guys are looking at 5. You know, and they'll take A, B, and C, and we'll take 129 and 165. I didn't know names, I knew numbers. You know, now, you know, hopefully I'll know names. We'll establish relationships early on. But we got to establish relationships with the coaches. You know, we got to develop a trust with the coaches around here where they're excited when their kids would consider us. That's I think our goal. I want the coaches to come here and watch us practice and know that we're a resource and then earn their respect. And then if that happens, then the kids will come.
You talked during the season about the lack of depth on your team. With all the young guys you're bringing back, the Jalen Jones, Cannon Cunninghams, plus the transfers who sat out this year, can you envision a lineup next year where none of these new kids who signed have to start right away, or do you expect them to hit the floor running and possibly one or more start right away?
I could see them all starting, and I could see them all fighting. They're all going to fight for playing time. Nick Russell and Sean Williams got first crack. They're seniors. You know, I think I learned that from all the coaches I've been lucky enough to be around. You owe that loyalty to kids that have been part of your program. You owe it to seniors. But at the end of the day, the players that help make us better are going to have the first opportunity to play. But I've never been everybody said when I was in the NBA, I played older guys. They never really investigated. You know, I had more Rookie of the Years, I think, than most people. But we're going to play the guys that give us the best chance to win. And freshmen are not freshmen anymore. You know, with all the AAU games they play and the exposure they, get, a lot of these kids are way beyond their years in terms of, knowledge of the game. But it's going to be about who makes our teammates better and who has the same values we have. So they're all going to get a chance. But the pressure will not be on. And it's amazing, playing time kind of is a pretty good motivator. So
a lot of times media, fans look at recruits and they see the tangible evidence of points and rebounds and assists. But since the day you got hired, you talked about the defense you were going to teach. What was the comment about picking them up at the airport? Did any of these guys get recruited solely or largely for their defensive ability over their points and their offensive production?
All 4 of them. You look at the numbers, Keith has great numbers, but, the thing that impressed me most about him is he rebounded the ball, he could defend and pass. Sterling, he doesn't have a position. He can play 1 through 5. Ben, I saw Ben this summer, he's just a raw colt, but he can block shots. Got a high IQ, and got great feet, and Yannick can rebound and defend and block shots. So.
Time for one more.
All right, Coach, just looking at the roster just very quickly, you graduate one senior, sign 4 new players. There's going to, just by the numbers, be attrition somewhere. When do you think that you could know where that attrition will take place?
I know.
When will it be official, I guess?
Well, right now, we're trying to do what's best for every kid. During the season, it's about our program and about our team. On the off season, it's about the kid. And I told them all from day one, I didn't recruit these kids. We lost 4 kids, I think, last year, and Matt told me he was going to lose a couple of them when I got the job, but they would have made us better this past year. But we would have brought in kids, and then all of a sudden they're not going to play. So I think every kid deserves the right to play. I told them all, you know, I told them what was going on. Kids want to be a substitute. And I'm not pushing them out the door, but at the end of the day, we're going to do what's best for each kid. So we've already been working on this for a long time.